Welcome to the Vegas Live podcast, also known as the Vegas Report, hosted by your boy, Chris Cash. What up, everybody? It's Chris Cash Jalem, your go-to Las Vegas Realtor, entrepreneur, artist, and your slightly opinionated tour guide to the city of dreams and delusions, Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned in to the Vegas Live podcast, also known as the Vegas Report. This is where we go ahead and break down the real Las Vegas. I am not talking about the tourist version, not the Hollywood version. I'm talking about the real version, the opportunity, the business, the culture, and yes, the housing market. So today's episode is one I've been wanting to record for a minute because Vegas is quietly setting up its next big run. Not just on the strip, in the neighborhoods, in the startup scene, in sports. And if you are somebody who's thinking about moving here, buying or selling a home, launching a business, or just trying to figure out where March Madness money is going to be, this episode is definitely for you. Here is what we are getting into today. I'm going to go ahead and break down what's actually happening with home prices right now, and whether interest rates are finally giving buyers a little breathing room. We're also going to talk about the hidden business opportunities that most people are completely sleeping on. We'll get into how MLB, the A's, and March Madness are reshaping the vibe and the economy of this city. And at the end, I'm going to go ahead and get a little personal, talk about being a dad, building businesses, staying creative, and keeping your mindset sharp in a city that never sleeps but loves to distract. So go ahead and grab a coffee, an energy drink, a double espresso martini if you're listening at night, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start with what's actually happening on the ground in Vegas right now. Okay? Not the headlines from people who don't even live here and haven't even been here since a bachelor party in 2019 from the outside. You know, people still think Vegas is just the strip and slot machines. But you know what? From the inside, living it, working it, building in it, it feels like we are right in the middle of a big transition year. You know, that's the transition year is where opportunities happen. So let me go ahead and give you 4 quick headlines on where we actually are. Headline number 1. The market has softened, but it has not crashed. Housing prices have cooled from the peak. We're off those highs, but this is not a collapse. It's more like Vegas went from Red Bull to black coffee. Still got energy, just a little more focused. Sellers aren't getting that crazy 10 offers on day one energy anymore. The buyers are finally back at the negotiating table. That is actually healthy. Headline number 2, people are still moving here. Population growth has not stopped. We are seeing continued growth both in the city and across the valley. And it's not just Californians anymore, which I know has become the whole thing, but we are seeing more international folks, more diversity, more different cultures showing up and planting roots. All right, Vegas is getting way more global, and that's a good thing, okay? Headline number 3, mega projects and sports are changing the skyline and the culture on and near the strip. The big story is sports development. We've got the A's ballpark plans, the Bally's resort vision taking shape, and more talk of an NBA franchise landing here eventually. We are heading toward being a full 4 major sports city. I'm talking about Raiders, Golden Knights, A's, and the NBA team. That changes everything. Tourism patterns, job creation, what kind of businesses thrive here, even what kind of content gets made in the city. Conventions are reloading. Major events are stacking up, and there are more reasons than ever for people to fly in and spend money. Vegas is built on cycles. You should know that. We had the boom. We had the adjustment, and now we are in that positioning phase where the smart money is quietly stacking chips while everyone else is still debating whether to play. And speaking of stacking chips, let's talk about what's actually happening in the housing market, because I know that's where a lot of you are sitting right now trying to figure it out. Do I move? Do I buy? Do I wait? All right, let's get into it. All right, the Las Vegas housing market, plain English, no charts, no jargon, just what it actually means for you. Home prices, big picture, prices are down a bit from the top, but we are still historically high. Think of it as Vegas going from insane bidding wars to slightly more sane bidding wars. Sellers who are being realistic are still selling and still making money. The people who are struggling right now are the ones still pricing their homes like it's peak pandemic, and the market is telling them no every single day. Interest rates. This is the one everybody's been watching. Rates have finally cooled off from those "what do you mean 7% days." Right now, we're hovering in the sixes, the low sixes range on the 30-year fixed, depending on your credit profile and your lender. Is it 3%? No. Is it workable? Yes. And here's the line I keep telling my clients. Marry the house, date the right. If the paperwork works for you today, you buy the right house and you refi when the rates drop. You don't wait for the perfect conditions that may never come. Buyer demand. Demand hasn't disappeared. It just grew up. Buyers are pickier. They're smarter, and they are not willing to waive every contingency and throw money at the house just to say they won. If you are a buyer right now, your superpower is patience combined with preparation. If you're pre-approved, clear on your budget, and genuinely ready to move, you can negotiate better deals today than you could have gotten in 2021. Inventory is up from the crazy low pandemic levels, but we are not drowning in homes either. It's this interesting middle zone, still slightly seller leaning in certain price points, but buyers have a real voice now. We're seeing more price reductions, more sellers offering closing cost help, more rate buy downs being thrown in. That's the stuff that was completely off the table 2 years ago. Relocation trends. People are absolutely still coming from California. That pipeline has not stopped, and I don't see it stopping soon. But we are also seeing more buyers from other states and genuinely more international interest. The top reasons people give me: no state income tax, lower cost of living compared to major coastal markets, and they want access to real opportunity without sitting in soul-crushing traffic for 2 hours every single day. Now, let me go ahead and give you some real talk advice, whether you're buying or selling. If you're a buyer, get super clear on your payment comfort zone first, not just the price number, because the payment is where you live with every month, not the sales price. So get pre-approved with an actual lender, not just an app that spits out a number, and be okay with walking away from a deal. There will always be another house. That mindset alone will make you a better negotiator than 90% of the people you are competing with. So if you are a seller, you can absolutely still get a strong price in this market, but you have to actually earn it. That means nailing condition, pricing it right from day one, and marketing it properly. Overpricing it in this market is how you end up chasing the market down week after week and eventually selling for less than you would have if you priced it correctly up front. And please work with someone who knows how to tell your home's story. It's all about storytelling, photos, video, digital marketing, not just throw it on the MLS and pray. So if you zoom out and look at Vegas historically, this city is basically a perpetual startup. We reinvent ourselves every decade. Gambling town to entertainment capital to convention hub to sports city to creator economy and tech. The cycle is accelerating, and right now we are at the interesting inflection point, the off-strip and suburban opportunity. One of the most underrated plays in Vegas right now. We have neighborhoods where rooftops, meaning new homes and new residents, are going up faster than the businesses needed to serve them. That gap right there, that gap is opportunity. Look at the Southwest Vegas, Henderson, parts of the Northwest corridor are great. And whoever shows up first with a quality product wins. Sports adjacent businesses. This is a big one with the A's coming, the Raiders already established, the Golden Knights still winning and building a culture, and the NBA eventually landing here. Vegas is booming, is going to become a 365 sports city, and the opportunity just isn't tickets. Think about sports bars with real concepts, not just TVs on the wall. Local merch brands built around the city's teams. Watch party pop-ups, short-term rentals specifically positioned for visiting fans. Parking and transportation solutions around the new stadium footprint. The Tropicana corridor around the A's ballpark is going to be a playground for creative business ideas over the next 5 years. The creator economy is wide open here. This one surprises people. Vegas gets content made about it constantly, but almost all of it is strip content, nightlife content, or travel influencer stuff. There is no dominant creator brand for Vegas tech. No go-to channel for Vegas small businesses, no major media brand documenting the startup scene, the relocation stories, or the sports culture of this city. So if you are a videographer, a podcast host, an editor, or a content strategist, you could generally build a significant media brand here right now in a space that isn't crowded yet. The startup and AI ecosystem. Behind the scenes, this is quietly leveling up. Meetups, pitch nights, innovation centers, people building AI tools, creative tech studios, companies in gaming, tech, and logistics. Where builders gather, support businesses follow, and so does investment, law firms, accountants, marketing, marketers, and agencies that position themselves in this ecosystem. Whoever positions themselves early are going to have significant advantages. International and niche services. As Vegas gets more global, the demand for bilingual services, culturally specific retail and food concepts, and specialized lending and relocation services are growing fast. And of course, in Vegas, opportunity and sports are always intertwined, especially this time of year when March Madness is about to take over every sports book, every sports bar, and every group chat in the city. Let's just say it out loud. Las Vegas is a real sports town right now. It's not a novelty anymore. We have NFL, we have NHL, MLB is loading, and the NBA is not an if, it's a when. Sports bars and sports books have generally become our second churches here. And I mean that with full respect. Okay, the A's ballpark. I want to spend a minute on this because it's actually wild when you think about it. A Major League Baseball stadium on the world famous Las Vegas Strip, tied into a mega resort. That is one of the most unusual combinations in the history of professional sports venues. And what 81 home games a year does for a market is significant. I'm talking about jobs, nearby property values, short-term rental demand, foot traffic for local businesses, a consistent calendar of events that draws visitors specifically for baseball. This isn't just a stadium, it's a lifestyle shift for that whole part of the valley. March Madness in Vegas. If you have never been in Las Vegas during the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, I need you to put it in your bucket list right now. Every sportsbook is packed. Every screen in every casino is running games simultaneously. People are cheering for teams they've never watched before in their lives because they had the 12th seed in the bracket. It is electric, it is chaotic, and it's completely unique to this city. It's also the one time of year when your accountant, your barber, and your grandma all of a sudden become experts in college basketball. On the betting culture, I want to be real for a second right now. Betting has become and has gotten more sophisticated. The apps, the data, the influencer picks, the prop bets on everything. And with that sophistication comes more access, which is great, but also more risk for people who blur the line between entertainment and financial strategy. My take is fun. It's part of our culture. It's part of what makes this city what it is, but we do not confuse it with investing. We do not mortgage that house on a 19-year-old hitting a free throw in a pressure situation. No, we do not. The cultural shift from party city to lifestyle city, this is the bigger story that I think gets missed by people who haven't lived here long enough. Vegas is genuinely changing. We have more local markets, more art events, more food festivals, more family-friendly experiences off the strip. You can still absolutely do the 4 a.m. Vegas night if that's your thing, absolutely. But you can also wake up, go hike at Red Rock, grab a coffee at a local spot, take your kids to the park, build a real life, and still have world-class entertainment 20 minutes from your house. That combination doesn't exist in many cities, and people are starting to figure that out. All of this connects to how I personally look at life out here in Vegas. So let me go ahead and get real with you for a few minutes, okay? Vegas will most definitely expose your weaknesses. I say that to the people all the time, and I mean it sincerely. This city has a way of finding whatever gap you have in your discipline, your finances, your relationships, your focus, and it will find it. But it will also reward your discipline in a way that not many cities can. The same way you can generally lose your paycheck in a single night on the strip, you can build a 6 or 7 figure business here if you stay focused and play the long game. I've built my real estate business, my media work, and my creative projects by treating Vegas like a sandbox. Test ideas, fail fast, figure out what actually works, and then go hard on what actually works. The city gives you the feedback quickly. That's actually a gift if you pay attention to it. On being a dad here, okay, raising kids in Las Vegas gives you a perspective that I think is genuinely unique. I'm constantly asking myself, how do I build a life where my kids see the possibility this city offers without absorbing the chaos? I want them to know Vegas as the place where their dad built things, created things, and showed up every day with intention, not just as the backdrop for the wild Vegas weekend. That shapes every decision I make about what I say yes to, what I invest in, and what I walk away from. On creativity, music and art keep me grounded in a way that nothing else does. Real estate is numbers, negotiation, strategy, business. I love it, but it lives in my head. Creativity is where I process everything else. If you are living in a city that is this loud, this stimulating, this relentless, you need an outlet. Music, painting, writing, building something with your hands, whatever it is, you need somewhere to put that energy that just isn't consumption, okay? Because if you don't have that, this city will write your story for you, and you might not like that ending. On discipline and mindset, here's the thing I genuinely believe. Discipline in Las Vegas is a competitive advantage, and it's a bigger one than in most cities. If you can wake up early, if you could stay consistent and protect your focus in a city that is literally engineered to keep you up late, keep you distracted, you are already ahead of most people you are competing with. My personal operating principle is treat the city like a tool, not a toy. Use the energy, use the network, use the opportunities, but don't let the distractions use you. That's why I'm genuinely optimistic about where this city is going. Not just for me personally, but for anyone who's willing to show up with a plan and put in that work. Let me go ahead and give you my honest take on where Vegas is headed economically, in real estate and culturally, okay? If we're talking economics, the story I'm most excited about is diversification. For a long time, Vegas was almost entirely dependent on tourism and gaming, which made us vulnerable to exactly the kind of shock we saw in 2020. That's changing. Tourism will always be the core. That's not gonna go away, but now we are layering it with professional sports, a growing startup ecosystem, content creation, logistics, and real tech activity. We're not trying to be Silicon Valley. No, we are building something that is our own, a place where entertainment, creativity, and business all collide in a way that no other city in the country can replicate. In real estate, my outlook is steady and long-term positive. I don't see a collapse coming. What I see is waves, short-term corrections and adjustments, followed by sustained growth driven by population inflow and genuinely limited land in desirable areas. If you're thinking in 5, 10, or 15-year windows, I would be looking at well-located, established neighborhoods, areas adjacent to the new sports venues and lifestyle communities that have real walkability and real amenities. That's where I think the appreciation story plays out over time. Culturally, that's already starting. The art, the food, the music, the community events. Little by little, Vegas is building an identity that goes beyond what happens in a casino at 2 a.m. And I think that makes it more compelling. I think it makes it a more compelling place to live, to invest in, and to build in. On the macro picture, with all the global uncertainties out there, travel fluctuations, economic cycles, geopolitical noise, Vegas actually sits in an interesting position. We're exotic enough to feel like a real escape, but we're domestic, accessible, and relatively predictable. As long as human beings want to celebrate, connect, escape, and experience things together, Vegas will always have a role. That's a pretty durable value proposition. If you're listening to this from another state and you keep having that thought in the back of your mind, is now the time to make the move? Here's my honest answer. It really all depends. It depends entirely on your plan and your discipline. But if you show up with both of those things, Las Vegas will meet you more than halfway. Yes, it will. All right. That is the Vegas Life Report for today. We've covered the market, the money, the opportunity, the sports culture, and got a little personal in the middle of it. I hope you got something out of it. If this episode gave you a different perspective on Vegas or just confirmed what you were already feeling, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the Vegas Live podcast wherever you are listening right now. It generally helps and shows growth and helps me keep making these type of videos and make this type of content. Share this episode with someone who keeps saying, I've been thinking about moving to Las Vegas. Send it to them. Let the episode do the talking. Follow me, Chris Cash Jalem, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm posting market updates, behind the scenes content, and creative stuff from around the city consistently. And if you are seriously thinking about moving to Las Vegas, buying or selling, reach out to me directly. Let's have a real conversation about your actual game plan. A real conversation with someone who lives and works in this market every single day. I also have a Las Vegas relocation guide available for you. It breaks down the neighborhoods, the lifestyles, the cost of living, schools, all of it in one place. Go ahead and grab it, study it, and then come to me with your questions. This is Chris Cash Jalem, your go-to Las Vegas Realtor, signing off from the desert. And remember, treat Vegas like a launch pad, not a slot machine. I'll go ahead and catch you on the next one. Peace.